2.5-mile track, 160 laps for the 400-mile distance. Competition caution coming at lap 20. There is still rain threatening on the radar. Pace car is off an hour and a half late, but better late than never. We're green at Pocono. Clean turn one. Juan Pablo Montoya challenged by Denny Hamlin in the 11 as they head for the tunnel turn.
Hey, just really never know what to expect on the racetrack that you don't have a big notebook on. With this thing just being repaid, here comes Montoya back to the inside trying to take the lead back. Driving it off in these corners at these high speeds can be a little bit risky at the start.
Keselowski saying he expected them all to be wrecking in every one of these corners. I noticed he left a little gap in front of his car on the start.
Can you blame him?
No.
Montoya leads lap 1. Hamlin second, Ambrose third, Kurt Busch fourth, Earnhardt Jr. fifth, and I keep seeing that M&M's car, Kyle Busch, popping on a line to the inside.
You know, I talked with Kyle on Friday, late in that second practice session. He was extremely happy with his race car. He said, if it performs like this on Sunday, we will be up front in the mix.
And Hamlin, again, off of turn number 1, going for the lead.
Same place that we saw just a minute ago. Montoya was able to cross back over as they got through the tunnel turn right here, getting back to the gas a little bit earlier.
It gives him the he gets him the angle there. He just backs off the gas, lets Hamlin go, and it gives him the preferred angle coming off the corner. Now he's going to bring Ambrose with him.
In a challenge for second. Well, a little slide there on that 9 car.
Yeah, that inside's the preferred line, but when you're on the inside of another car, that can make it kind of dicey for you. You can't get to the throttle. Here's 3 wide.
Logano 20, 43 Almirola, Johnson 48, and keep an eye on that 18 again.
Every time we see him, he's passing cars so far. Pretty good guy to follow to his teammate, Joey Logano, who won the first race here back in the spring.
Kyle already up 6 spots and going for a 7th in the opening 3 laps. Now make it work in the 4th lap. There's Junior by the 9 of Ambrose. Dale Jr. up to 4th spot. How many laps into this race before the driver has enough of a feel for how his car and the track conditions are matching up and starts making those radio calls in the pit box?
Yeah, I think you can get 10 or 12 laps into this race. And there's enough cars out there running hard, getting that rubber foot down. And this racing surface, this is going to change a tremendous amount, but just getting that little bit of rubber, they'll be able to start getting some information back here in about 7 or 8 laps.
Yeah, and in the meantime, it is going to be changing some. That green track is not going to be the same as what they're going to have when they get that competition caution. So you kind of want to wait a little bit. I mean, I'm going to listen to the comments from the driver, but I'm not going to make a decision until later in this run.
Kurt Busch up to 3rd in the 51. And this race, Casey Kane in the 5, Paul Menard in the 27, and the 17 of Matt Kenseth. That's for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Is today the day that pool again breaks that long dry spell? I heard it addressed by Greg Biffle earlier.
Yeah, man, the way they started the season out, it looked like that they were just going to kind of dominate things. I mean, Kenseth is strong, Biffle every single week, and we expected Carl Edwards to break through at any time, but, man, since Texas, it just really hasn't happened for any of these guys.
Success is really a relative thing in this business because there's so many of these teams that continually work on these cars, these packages, that improve on them. We've had a few rule changes with the side skirts, and so that changes the balance of competition, and I think the Ford guys are just trying to catch up a little bit.
This is 7th place, Paul Menard in the 27. Remember, this is a backup car after a hard crash he had here on Friday.
As they come down through there, how about Kurt Busch keeping this 51 car up there? That has to be a big boost for this race team, man.
It is. It's a small team, and those guys, they really are overachievers by what they're able to do, and they love Kurt Busch. They love how hard he drives this race car, and they know they go to every race with a chance to win.
Kurt racing Dale Jr. there for 3rd and 4th.
I think if you kind of polled the garage, everybody would probably say the 88 was the best in race trim.
Wow.
He's showing a little muscle right there.
Yes, sir.
I think that's what the garage thought. In talking to Dale Jr., which may be a good thing, you don't want to get overly optimistic just as he takes over the third spot. But he felt like that he needed just a little bit more speed. And what I'm seeing right now, I think he might have found that speed. I don't know what they changed, but it looks like it was the right things.
So Junior up to third behind Montoya and Hamlin. Remember last week at Indianapolis, Carl Edwards started second and had some troubles in the early laps? We're not seeing a repeat, are we, Vince?
Well, it's not the same type of issue, but Carl is a little bit concerned. Listen to the radio.
Hey, for some reason my oil temp gauge, it's reading about 195, and then it's just bouncing all the way up to the peg 320, and the light's going off while the needle moves up, and then it comes back.
You know, last week he regretted coming into the pits to have that issue looked at. He lost 2 laps early. Carl said, I'm not coming in this time.
Well, that particular issue, while you don't want that, I'm not too concerned with it. That particular system is not connected to the ECU, and so it's probably just a glitch in the gauge of the sending unit. I wouldn't worry about it too much right now. I'll just kind of tell him to forget about it.
On board Denny Hamlin. Trying to take that lead away from Pablo Montoya. He got it from him a couple of times in turn 1. Lost it right back in turn 2. Now he's going at it down the front stretch off turn 3.
He's going to get it down into turn 1, I believe. The key will be, can he hold on to it this time?
And it might not be Montoya that's going to put the charge on it. It might be that 88.
Yes, sir.
Denny's wanting to get a lap led. He knew that he better get it. That 88 was coming hard to his back bumper.
I'm impressed with Montoya, though, so far. I mean, to get the poles, kind of out of the blue, the team hasn't really been that good lately. I know everybody works on stuff, and it can happen at any time, but I'm surprised he's on the pole, and kind of surprised he's held on as good as he has to start.
He was so animated when he joined us in the late stages of qualifying in the pit studio yesterday. And so excited as each car went and didn't top his time. Casey Kane on the move in that 5 car right of your screen, trying to get 4th away from Kurt Busch, while Junior peeks inside of Montoya. Not quite there for 2nd.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard pass to make. It used to be able to be that you might outbrake someone down in there. With the new surface, all of these guys are able to get that in pretty hard. But Junior's got a great run up off of turn 1. Should have the spot. Let's see if he can hold on to it and keep Montoya behind him off of this funnel turn.
He's able to get the position and get the angle into the corner before they got there. I think that's the key.
And I think Montoya's car is starting to give up a little bit now, so it wasn't as good as when he had those really new tires right at the beginning of this race.
So Montoya 3rd, now being closed on by Kane in 4th, as Dale Jr. goes to 2nd, and after Denny Hamlin, the leader. Look at the people.
Well, they were excited before this started, just with Junior being the points leader right at this point in time, but to see this 88 car come up through the field, running cars down, I think that's the biggest thing. You know, they used to see him, whenever he wasn't winning and struggling a little bit, might get the lead through pit stops or something like that. But this is chasing cars down and taking the lead.
Just underway after an hour-and-a-half rain delay in the Pennsylvania 400 at Pocono, Denny Hamlin, 5th in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series standings, a 2-time winner this season and a 4-time winner here at Pocono, is out in front.
on the wall. He's not chasing you down there. Bumper. He's still up there. Clear. Awesome work. We got a guaranteed caution in 8. There's no reason to stretch it out too far. Just take your stuff. Doing awesome.
Back live, Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania with a new leader. In the Pennsylvania 500, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has gone by Denny Hamlin and put himself out in front. There's the gap, first to second. Just moments ago, here's how it happened.
Yeah, this car is really just hooked up on the bottom, and Junior's strength is getting off of these corners and maximizing the horsepower. Able to do it down the long front straightaway. I think Denny didn't give him much of a fight there.
I don't think it would have mattered.
Yeah.
A little proof that the 88 car is fast, besides the fact that he's leading. As we look at the fastest stats, brought to you live all race long by the new Sprint Direct Connect, part of the fastest push-to-talk experience. Upgrade to the new done. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has turned the fastest lap, 172 miles an hour averaging. The fastest stats brought to you by the new Sprint Direct Connect. Upgrade to the new done. Find out more at sprint.com/speed and get done. Junior getting it done. Look at that.
Yeah, he's already put a big gap on Denny Hamlin. He's getting a little pressure now from Casey Kane.
I think Casey Kane's another one to be a factor here. I mean, he's got those 2 victories. He really get a run off the bottom of the track there. He's going to take this second spot away from Denny, but I think he would like to have a third win just to make sure that he's secure in the chase.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm talking to Kenny Francis about that. He got 2 wins. You feel pretty confident in that getting in the chase. And you'd be surprised how much he doesn't feel confident with just 2 wins. They really would like to have another one. I mean, they feel good they have them, but they'd rather have another one.
It's amazing how different things look inside of this sport than looking at it from the outside.
Montoya and Ambrose getting shuffled a little bit. Ambrose just giving up a spot temporarily to Greg Biffle.
Like Ambrose has got a loose situation there, especially off of that turn 3. If he can get some of that fixed, it'll certainly help his speed throughout this day.
And Montoya also getting passed by Kurt Busch. So Kurt in 5th, Montoya 6th. Jimmie Johnson there, 48 in 7th. A lot of folks figure we'll see this 48 car up in the number 1 spot for a lot of this race.
I would not be surprised to see him up there pretty quick.
I'm not sure that, especially after the way they dominated the race last week, Jimmie's smart enough and this whole team's smart enough that they may just kind of play this slow unless they see, obviously, weather approaching. But I think he hangs out as far as charging to the front. He's going to pass him when he can, just like this, but he's not just going to show everything he's got yet.
You see Jimmie, he's flipping the brake blower switches on when he gets into the corner, and then he turns them back off on the straightaway. Keep from warping the rotors up is what I'm imagining this is, because he turns them off when he gets to the straightaway. The straightaway is so long that you have all this cooling time. Those rotors can really quench down, and then when you put all that heat in them, getting to the corner, they can warp up and really cause you a lot of problems during the day.
Talk about a lot of drivers, and Denny Hamlin being one of those. He does it at this racetrack, being smooth, doesn't use a lot of brake, carries the momentum. Jimmie is a charging the corner type guy. He uses a lot of brake with this race car to make it all work. Obviously, it's worked very well for him, but I think you're exactly right about what he's doing there.
So Jimmie Johnson running in 6th position. He started back in 10th.
Some of the things you look for in the crew chief, you watch them make a pit stop. I noticed last week in Indianapolis, they would take that right front tire off. You see all the brake dust just fall off. It means he's using a lot of brake to go fast.
Montoya and Biffle, 42-16. And Ambrose making a three-way race there in the 9. This will be for 7th, 8th, and 9th spots. And don't forget,
they'll fight for these spots because there's a couple laps we're going to have a caution. They want to have track position.
That's exactly where I was going.
Well, we're on the same page anyway.
There you go. What are we going to see on that caution flag? 20 laps is more. So you're going to need more than just the first.
Yeah, you'll still see some two-tire stops, though, because it won't take a full 2 cans. And they can't put fuel in. They can't pull that little strategy move that we'll see later in the race. They can't come in like now under green and get that pit stop out of the way to stay out, because NASCAR will not let them put fuel in the car until that caution comes out. So you won't be able to gain an advantage over somebody with a little strategy.
Ambrose determined.
Yeah, we've heard a number of drivers talk about this being somewhat like a road course. Montoya yesterday told us he didn't think it was anything like one, but if you think about a road course, I think that's why you can see Ambrose run well here. He'll certainly be a factor next week for sure as we go to Watkins Glen.
That competition caution coming at lap 20, and the way NASCAR tends to do these things.
Whoa, Kyle Busch sideways there.
And out the wall.
Yep. That groove was not ready to be
got 3 more,
that high.
2 more, 1 more. Still green. Come on down.
Now
may
the
have a flat
caution tire.
Yellow's out. Yellow's out.
Yeah, that car jumped up there pretty quick, and it, like I said, that groove still, it doesn't have any rubber on it because of the rain. So when he got up there, it went quick to the wall.
Wow, what a bad break. He was moving forward.
Looks like the left rear is down. That's
Extremely
probably
fast.
Car's knocked out of it now, but something broke before I got there.
Yeah, you can see, I believe, see that left rear down right there.
Down,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, that's what happened. He ran over something and punctured that left rear. This team has not had much good racing luck happen for them so far this year.
If I had to pick a place on this track for that not to happen, it'd be right there. Tell you what, he's lucky he didn't hit harder than he did. Kind of congested down there. Everybody getting done about the same time. It's a good thing we have a nice wide pit road, though, to exit on.
And the 3 cars who didn't pit, Jamie McMurray in the 1, Mark Martin in the 55, Brad Keselowski in the 2. Dale Jr. first off the pit lane, lines up 4th on the restart. Let's see how this shakes out.
Yeah, this could get exciting right here. See him 3 wide back here. You can go through turn 1 too wide. With a tunnel turn, it's not advised. Let's see what happens.
Just see how strong that 88 car is.
Even when he doesn't get the perfect angle in there, that car still turns and rotates through the center of the corner and is able to get good drive off.
Mark Martin getting shuffled back in that 55. He restarted 2nd.
When we talked about strategy opportunities, we saw 3 cars stay out. Mark was one of them. And Brad Keselowski in the 2. He's another one too. What they're going to do, they're going to run their tank just about out of fuel and make their pit stop under green, just like we would see on a road course. As long as you're within about 20 seconds of the lead, you can make that pit stop and get back out without losing a lap. Kind of get off sequence, and that's what they need to do to kind of make up some of that track position.
A number of drivers were telling me in practice on Friday that they ran their fastest lap of practice after about 20 laps on the tires. So there's no concern as far as losing a lot of speed right here. You see Keselowski trying to take the lead now from Jamie McMurray.
Defending winner of this race, driver of the 2. Remember a year ago, had that broken bone in his ankle after the vicious testing crash at Road Atlanta. He goes to the point, but that very fast 88 car follows him through.
This will be a good gauge to see just how good this 2 car is. Now, he's got a little lighter fuel load than the 88. Like we said, the tires are not that much different, whether they got laps on them or not. So we'll get a kind of a gauge and see just how Keselowski is going to race against this 88.
While we follow the action on the track, we also check back in the garage, Dave.
So Kyle Busch, you brought up the first caution. Kyle, what did you feel, and then could they confirm what it was?
Just disintegrated a rear brake rotor, and blew through the caliper after that. So going down into turn one, fastest part of the racetrack, and you have three-wheel brakes, ain't too much fun. But just the way our year's been going, it's kind of our luck. Hate it for all these guys, everybody at M&M's, but what do you do?
We've talked about it. It was either points or wins, and now you're kind of down to wins again, don't you think?
Pretty much, but the way our year's gone, it doesn't even matter.
He's out early. Shouldn't have been. Fast race car again today, guys.
All right, Dave, so Kyle Busch in the garage area already as Matt Kenseth tries to march toward the front in that 17 car. Trying to get third spot away from Jamie McMurray, and he'll do so.
Like Jamie kind of yielded that spot to him.
Wisely. Greg Biffle picking up a spot under Mark Martin. Here comes Jimmie Johnson. Mark going to get shuffled back to 7th spot after restarting second.
We talked about Jimmie Johnson flipping his switches, brake switches on and off on the straightaway. And then we talked about how that rotor can quench itself, getting overcooled, and that can make the rotor explode, actually crack, and then they're going so fast and so much centrifugal force on that rotor that it can crack and break, and then that's what happened to Kyle.
Here comes Jimmie. Tell you, another guy keeps popping out of line. See that blue and white car right of the screen? Every time I look up, it seems like Carl Edwards just dropped down 2 or 3 wide and trying to dig for some more ground.
Well, he's due for a good day. It would really be nice to see Carl get up there and try to battle for a win. It's been a while since that's happened for this race team.
Martin Truex Jr. trying to get a spot there on Juan Pablo Montoya. Looking at Kurt Busch right of the screen. Remember, we saw him running as high as 3rd earlier. He's back in 23rd now.
Feels like you just put a 1,000-pound spring in the right rear, whatever we did. We're no good.
So, Mike, whatever they did on that first pit stop, obviously Kurt didn't like the way the car reacted.
I would say you're absolutely right. What they did, obviously they didn't put a 1,000-pound spring in the right rear. All they did was make an air pressure adjustment, a 0.5 pound in the right rear, and now suddenly, as you heard, Kurt not happy with the race car, saying it's loose everywhere.
I talked to Nick Harrison this morning in the garage. They're trying a little different setup here than they've been running, and it may be a little more sensitive to those air pressure changes. They're having to kind of get a feel for it.
Yeah, that 0.5 pound will be like putting more spring in the right rear. Maybe not 1,000 pounds, but it doesn't take much because they run such a big right rear spring in these things to start with, and if you just get it off a little bit, it makes it so extremely loose, hard for the driver to keep up with.
There, you talked earlier about seeing how good the Keselowski's car was once he got out in front with Junior behind him. He's held the lead.
Really impressive of what this 2 car is doing, but he was fast in practice the other day. Just got a terrible lap qualifying yesterday.
Jamie McMurray restarted with the lead after not pitting under the first and only caution. Back there racing for 5th with Greg Biffle in the 16. So, Andy, running it out to a full fuel load in this one car, that's going to be just another lap or 2 from now.
Yeah, they expect that they can go about 30, 32 laps maybe. I'm kind of interested to see just how far that 2 car can go. I've talked to those guys a lot the last couple of weeks, and they get great fuel mileage, and this is a good place to use it. They might want to stretch it right here. We might see just how far they can go.
Good look at the cars running in the top 15. Or your favorite driver might be. There's the pole sitter, Juan Pablo Montoya. In that red and white 42, Clint Bowyer behind him. Martin Truex in the 56, and Jeff Gordon trying to pick up a spot. That'll be 14th place.
Yeah, some of his experience there. You can't have the draft used to your advantage here. Really, you're over 200 miles per hour at that point in time getting down into turn 1. You see Jeff use that, get that run, and take the spot away.
Denny Hamlin way back in traffic there in that 11 car after being up front and leading some laps early in this race. The gap from first to second is suddenly a lot bigger than it was. Dale Earnhardt Jr. fell back off Brad Keselowski's back bumper in this last lap.
we talked about at Indy last week. As these drivers get closer to that car in front of them, they lose the front end a little bit. This is a wide racetrack, but you have to try to move around and see where you can make it fit.
One thing I would tell him if I was Letard, I'd say, hey, just try to keep that lead because you'll have some clean air when that 2-car pits. Mike?
Good clean stop for Mark Martin. 4 tires and fuel. Did not stop with the competition caution, so a little bit of strategy being played here in the 55K.
Yep, we'll see the 2 of Keselowski and the 1 of McMurray in the next lap or 2 as well. Top 3 with a little bit of a gap on 4th place. Keselowski, Earnhardt Jr., and Kenseth.
No pressure. Number 2 is hitting this line. The 2 is hitting this line.
Pennsylvania 400, still in its early stages after a 90-minute delay for rain here at Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania. Brad Keselowski has just given up the race lead for a green flag pit stop along with Jimmie McMurray. We saw Mark Martin in a lap or 2 before that, so all the guys that did not pit under the first caution have cycled in, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. has gone back to the front. Change for second place, Jimmie Johnson by Matt Kenseth.
Like I said, he'll probably wait for a while before he comes to the front, right? Because this is a while for him.
Just being methodical and taking his time.
He got strung out. They made it easier for him just to pass him one at a time. So,
how about your reaction to what we heard from Jimmie Johnson earlier on NASCAR Countdown? First time I recall him saying publicly, I want to win an 8th championship and I want to be considered the best ever.
I love it. Why shouldn't he be? I mean, he's done things that nobody else has ever done in this sport to start with. So you have to, as a driver and as a championship driver, you have to set more goals for yourself. So we haven't seen that side of Jimmie. It's not a bragging thing. It's just the fact that, hey, this is my goal. I'm letting you in on it, and I think it's great for everybody to know that.
I thought so.
I think, and he said he didn't want to be disrespectful to the guys that have won 7. And to me, it's actually the opposite. I think it's showing how much respect he does have for those 2 guys that have won 7 championships. He just sets it as a goal. Those are the guys I want to be.
So, situation now. Brad Keselowski goes from being in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the lead to 42 seconds back in 34th place, Dave.
Well, with Paul right now, Paul, what has to happen next? And I guess, is this a wet weather or dry weather strategy?
Well, I mean, it's just the situation we're in because we qualified so poorly. We need to get track position. So, everybody at Penske Engine has done a real good job at giving us good fuel mileage, and it opens up some windows for us and puts us in a better situation where we can do things like this.
Remember, they started 31st here in the June race, too, so they're getting kind of used to this. It's not such a great thing, but he knows how to play the strategy, Alan.
Yes, he does.
I don't think he showed his hand on how far they could go right there. I think he made that pit stop. But when he has to go a long way, it might surprise you just how far this car can go in fuel.
And I can tell you as a driver, that's the guy I want sitting on top of my pit box. Paul Wolf, he is magical in making these calls and looking at these races and figuring out exactly what they need to do to put that race team in a place to win.
Jimmie Johnson trying to creep in on Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the lead. You see Matt Kenseth in that 17 has fallen a little bit back off. And here's the race for 4th. Greg Biffle, 16. Casey Kane in the 5.
Actually have all three of the Roush Fenway cars up in the top 7 now, so pretty solid day for the Fords so far.
And for that matter, all 4 of the Hendrick Chevys in the top 9.
One up in there.
Would you say it's a heavyweight fight there up the front?
I'm just looking at these lap times. Keselowski and Mark Martin are back there running the fastest laps on those new tires. Just trying to see how much that's worth. It's not a terrible amount, but it's about 3 or 4 tenths faster than the leaders are running right now.
So, tying a couple of things together. Earlier, we talked about Carl Edwards maybe feeling or seeing some things on his temperature gauges that he wasn't comfortable with in the opening laps. Then we noticed he was diving to the inside every time we saw him picking up spots. And Vince, he's back up to 7th.
Yeah, their hearts have skipped a beat a couple of times already today. We've talked about how important this race is. They've got to win races to make the chase. They had the temperature gauge concern right off the bat. And then Edwards had a contact with his right front with the 56 as he was exiting his pit box on that initial pit stop. So they took a good close look at that right front on that 99 car. As you see the lead change and Jimmie Johnson going to the front past Dale Jr. The good news for Carl Edwards and company, the lap times are strong. They don't believe there's any significant damage on that right front.
All right, so again, Edwards in 7th place, 10 seconds behind the new leader.
And what was it Brad said in the countdown show? Jimmie Johnson's got a cold heart taking that lead from Junior. Dave?
You guys remember earlier we were talking about Jimmie Johnson and the flipping of switches, and there could be a couple of different reasons to do that. There could also be one issue that might be a little bit of a problem. Listen to this.
The front switch keeps turning off my fans. The switch just turns off? Yeah, it just flips down. That's worth tape for you here in the next stop.
So a little tape in there to hold that switch in position for Jimmie.
You see he's got extensions that are on the ends of the switches, and they have a little bit of mass to them, and over the bumps sometimes they can actually make the switch turn off. Not very many bumps on this track though.
So we're at 100 miles, a quarter of the distance into the Pennsylvania 400. 6 different drivers trading the lead, 6 different times. Most recent to take the lead, Jimmie Johnson, the 5-time champ and the winner last Sunday at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, steaming by Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the #1 spot just a couple of circuits ago. we look on at Pocono Raceway today, we wrap up our motorsports weekend coverage with the O'Reilly Auto Parts NHRA Northwest Nationals at 6 Eastern tonight on ESPN2. Then next weekend, it's onto the road course. Not that far north from here at Watkins Glen International, the Nationwide Series, Saturday 2 Eastern on ABC, and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, starting with NASCAR Countdown at noon Eastern next Sunday here on ESPN. Over a quarter of the way in the Pennsylvania 400 at Pocono Raceway. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Information I'll pass on to you now. Kyle Busch has come back from the garage. He's 23 laps down in 41st place, but they have effected repairs on the 18, and he has rejoined the pursuit of points. And we've seen green flag pit stops from Paul Menard and Joey Logano while we were away in the break. Tony Stewart up to 9th position. There's the scoring serial on Tony. And Doc, these guys played a little different strategy than most, even though they pitted at the same time as the majority of the front runners.
Yes, they did, AB. They put 4 tires on. You know, yesterday, Tony was just okay in race trim and terrible in qualifying trim. That's why he started 28th. But this morning, Steve Adage and the crew chief said, what we're going to do is we're going to make the car comfortable for Tony. They changed the rear bar, changed the truck arms to move to where the car was the most comfortable back in June when Tony drove from 22nd to 3rd. Guess what? You make Tony comfortable, you make him fast. He started 28th, already 9th, and he is on the move toward the top 5.
He was the first one off the pit lane with the 4-tire change and marching.
Yeah, I think that could possibly be because they did make changes. They weren't extremely happy with this race car, and so I think they wanted to get to the point that they can really evaluate their car and more changes they may need to make. They're finding some speed now, so if they continue in that direction, Smoke might be up in the top 5 before we know it.
Remember how that march last Sunday in Indianapolis was as low as 32nd at one point? Wound up charging his way forward for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, they've been struggling with their setup for this track and for Indianapolis, but doing a really good job of honing in on it. They did a great job at Indianapolis, tuning on the car and getting up to the front and making passes when they needed to. And they've done that here too.
Now the window's open for pit stops. Clint, Bowyer, Denny, Hamlin, Mark Truex, Regan Smith, and more, Mike.
And Denny Hamlin complaining he's a little bit loose on entry, not the way he likes it. They're going to make a chassis adjustment. They go to work on the right side, now swing around to the left side of the race car. 4-tire change on the 11. Meanwhile, Clint Bowyer also saying he's a little bit too loose. He heads on down pit road, and he'll make his adjustments and changes in his way. 4 tires for the 15.
Jimmie Johnson from the lead. Dale Jr., Greg Biffle also following in. By the way, no speeding penalties on that first round of pit stops.
Turn in, mate.
You heard Chad on the radio reminding him to watch the tail car, and then he called him to turn in. Another little track bar adjustment, just down a little bit more. The 48 car a little bit free, but obviously fast. Doc?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. got a little bit of a crosswind on the tunnel turn to the car. A little bit tight. Also a little snug entering 3.
You all clear? Get hard, all the way out. Hard. You all clear?
He is down to the way.
All clear. Couple coming out.
Up pit road, tire change for Greg Biffle. Greg saying the car is as good as it's ever been here at Pocono.
Matt Kenseth takes over the race lead. There's the pole sitter Montoya. And Kenseth now in, Mike.
And he's saying he's a little bit tight in 3, but otherwise good in 1 and 2. They're going to raise the track bar slightly. Also a 4-tire change on the 17 car of Matt Kenseth. Vince?
The 5 car of Casey Kane, he's been pretty pleased with it. They made a chassis adjustment the first stop. This time they're going with 4 tires at Casey's request. Otherwise, pleased with the race car. Now the 99 of Carl Edwards, he's been fighting loose. You see that chassis adjustment there in the right rear track bar going down a couple of rounds. 4-tire change for the 99. Dave?
Jeff Gordon is in, Vince. A 4-tire change for him. Loose in and off the corner. A little snug in the middle. Just an air pressure adjustment along with a full load of Sunoco fuel for Jeff Gordon. Doc?
And 4 tires already completed pit stop for Tony Stewart. 4 tires, slide air pressure. Tony's in the car. Really has good balance. He's away.
Focus training.
Kurt Busch is the leader for the moment, has not yet cycled through his pit stop. There's the 51. Dale Jr.
You got it, won't stand
off
any
the
gear.
pace.
Third, no fourth. Can't get second or first, obviously, going as fast, but... Or it won't make fourth, correct? In third, won't make fourth. Nope, no third, no fourth. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, we're going to have to go change it then. Let's go change transmission, guys.
Well, that's a shame right there.
Yep.
That transmission is highly stressed at this track.
Yes, we'll go to the garage. Yeah, they won't have to. We can take it, there's only get stuff here. Go in there, put it up, guys. Take a look at it. There's no reason to come all the way down here. We just have to push all the way back up there. Just coast in the garage, get up on 4. Start yanking it out.
As all of this changed with this new pavement, they're shifting in all 3 corners now on the entry of those. And they're having to do it at a pretty high RPM because they were telling me they waited to shift whenever they normally would. They're ready to get back to the throttle, so you have to get this shifted in a way early, and sometimes you don't get that matched up, and those transmissions will just explode.
So the championship leader, for the first time in a long time after the Indianapolis race, in the garage at Pocono with transmission troubles. And we're not halfway through the race. Still in the middle of a cycle of green flag pit stops, Kurt Busch is still the leader. He and David Reagan have not pitted yet. Then the top spot will go back to Jimmie Johnson over Brad Keselowski. Remember that whole long-running cycle story. David Reagan, 34, about to be overtaken for second by Jimmie Johnson.
We really thought that Brad Keselowski may be able to stay in front of Jimmie Johnson because he had about a 3-second lead on Jimmie when he made his pit stop. He had those fresher tires on for a little bit, but shows how fast this 48 has been. Plus the job Jimmie did getting on and off of pit road.
Yeah, I think he gained some time on that exchange with the pit stop and the way he gets on and off pit road.
David Reagan stopped. Remember, in this cycle of things, he had just given up second to Jimmie Johnson before coming to pit road. There are so many things going on in this race right now. Between the people on different pit stop cycles, looking forward in the race to the finishing number of laps, and looking forward in the race to the halfway point and at the weather radar. Kurt Busch gives up the lead, Mike.
At the beginning of the run, he was complaining profusely that the car was extremely loose. From the cockpit, he told Nick Harrison the track bar needs to come down. They made that move and also a 4-tire change on the 51 car as they complete service and are away.
All right, so Jimmie Johnson back to the point as Kurt Busch rejoins the fight. And it'll be Johnson and Keselowski. With the Kyle Busch lap car in between them, there's the gap first to second. Just after making his green flag pit stop in second place, Dale Jr. with mechanical troubles.
Broker training. What side you braking? 15 max, 15 max.
Well, I didn't see anything really wrong with the way he was making the
Just stay
shift.
low there. Broke transmission. Coming to you guys.
Just laid down.
Yeah, that was actually going from third back to high gear, back to fourth instead of the downshift.
So Junior sideline early in the going at Pocono. His Hendrick teammate Jimmie Johnson is out in front.
66 to his 61. 44 on the leader. Coming to lap 55. You actually roll into the center of the tunnel and gain, but Matt gains off the tunnel and then gains into 3. One back. See him looking on the bottom there. Still clear, but he'll get to you. Tell you when you see him. Front and rear with the pass, 3 seconds behind you to Casey.
The Pennsylvania 400 at Pocono Raceway here on ESPN. Being led by Jimmie Johnson. Check out NASCAR.com/RaceBuddy to watch coverage live from Pocono today. Follow your favorite drivers for free with 8 live camera views. Been an eventful first 57 laps so far. Lead changes, mechanical troubles, pit strategy. Let's check on the mechanical troubles. Mike is in the garage with Dale Jr.
And it wasn't the way his day was going. It was going rather well until transmission problems.
Yeah, we don't have third or fourth gear, so we're going to change the transmission. And you know, just I know the guys in the transmission shop and Hendrick are disappointed. We don't ever break parts. So we put it in yesterday, and during qualifying, it was fine. And then when the race started, it was kind of, you know, aggressive and a bit of a vibration. Just the car was just really out of time, and it just kind of started missing some shifts and hard, you know, difficult to get into gear and things like that. And finally, on from third to fourth coming out of the tunnel, it didn't have any fourth, and then I went to third, didn't have any third. So it's you know. It's tough. We had a good run going. Diamond Mountain Dew NASCAR Chevrolet was pretty fast. Jimmie's the quickest car out there, but I felt like we might have been able to work on ours and get a little better. We were pretty tight, and I thought we could make it a lot better than we were. So real happy with the speed, and just sorry to all the guys at the shop. Hope one of our cars get a win today and make something out of it.
Thanks for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Guys are still working real hard on this 88 car, trying to get Dale Jr. out there before the end of the race, Al.
21 races of finishing on the lead lap. Tied for longest all-time such streak. That'll stop today for Dale Earnhardt Jr. So, after the cycle of pit stops, Jimmie Johnson has a 3.8-second lead on Matt Kenseth, and Brad Keselowski sitting in third. Casey Kane fourth, Greg Biffle fifth, Mark Martin sixth. Then a pretty good gap for Martin. Back to the next car, Carl Edwards sitting in seventh position, Vince.
It's been a bit of an issue for Carl today on a day when he needed everything to go perfect. Here's yet another concern.
Double check your fans are on the front. They are. Copy that. Talk to me. Do I need to be easier on the brake? No, you're okay. I just want to make sure the fans are open. We got a lot of brake dust, but it's not terrible.
We had the temperature issue. We had the contact on pit road. Now a little bit of question on the brakes. Just wonder, for a driver, DJ, is that disconcerting when you know you've got to have a winning performance today?
Yeah, Vince, I'll guarantee you that it is. And simply because of the way their year's gone. It seems like so many crazy things happening to this race team. So you start wondering what's going to go wrong next. So they've already had 2 issues here today and still a long way to go in this race. But Carl does have a fast car. And he was just wanting to know, too, do I need to ease up on the brake just a little bit? But he came here to charge to the front, and you got to use the brake to do that.
It's the pole sitter, Kurt Busch. Juan Pablo Montoya, 42, and Kurt Busch, who was leading during the cycle of pit stops a minute ago. You see Mark Martin in. Remember, we've got people on all kind of different pit stop cycles here.
Yeah, that was a scheduled stop for Mark Martin. It's a good battle going on, though, with Montoya and Kurt Busch.
I'm really impressed with Kurt Busch here today. He's taking this car. He said it's one of the newer cars they have from Hendrick Motorsports that they're kind of getting to know and make some changes with. He's done a really good job, and certainly a welcome sight for Montoya, too, to be running competitive here.
Like I said, I talked to Nick Harrison, the crew chief for Kurt Busch, and he was saying that they found something in the latter part of the practice that it was a different kind of package, and they didn't have time to really adjust to it, but it was faster. So they were going to start with it and try to adjust the car during the race and see if they could make this package work. Looks like it's doing pretty well.
So we'll continue to follow the rolling strategy. We'll follow the weather. And we'll follow the race for the lead in the Pennsylvania 400 at 150 miles at Pocono Raceway.
60 out back, 60 in front, leader 60 in traffic. Or 50 out back, you're putting good time. He knows you're coming, putting good time. We'll do water and oil down the short chute here. 230, 260 still. Here we come. 4,700, 2 red, nobody has sped. Nobody's been caught, I should say. 4,700, 2 red. Start looking right here. Make sure we keep our wheels straight.
Brad Keselowski making his off-sequence pit stop, lap 64 here at Pocono. There was a track bar adjustment, said he needed some stability in turns 1 and 3. He was a little tight in the tunnel turn. With weather on the radar, Alan, how this strategy is going to work out for the 2-bunch today.
We spent that whole commercial break talking about that up here in the booth with Dale and Andy. And you've got 2 different pit stop schedules going on. You're sitting on that pit box, Andy. You're watching the weather radar. You know the race has got to go past the 80-lap mark to be official. You're wondering whether it will go all the way to the 160 mark to become official, and you're trying to plot it all and make it make sense.
And you know what the problem is that one variable that you'd like to have, like when is this thing going to end? You don't have it.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be shortened if you're looking at this weather right, but you don't know how short. You don't know where you're racing to. So all you can do is just try to keep your car up front. And I see that the 2 car and the 55 are off sequence, and see how that works for them. Right now, it looks like Keselowski was able to stay on the lead lap by making his pit stop, but Mark was not. You see Mark chasing this 48 now, trying to get back on the lead lap so he can make his strategy work. But it is going to be interesting to see how this works if it does get short.
That was the 93 car of Travis Kvapil. You saw kind of up out of the groove behind Jimmie Johnson in turn 3. He did not hit the wall and has continued on. You see right there. The fastest stats brought to you live all race long by the new Sprint Direct Connect, part of the fastest push-to-talk experience. Upgrade to the new Done. Jimmie Johnson, fastest of the pack so far. Leading more laps than anyone else so far today. The fastest mover, well, that's been Brad Keselowski. Or it was Brad Keselowski. Now it's Jeff Gordon. Since Brad just made that pit stop, Jeff up 22 positions since the start of the race. The stats brought to you by the new Sprint Direct Connect. Upgrade to the new Done. Find out more at sprint.com/speed and get done.
That's the thing with this strategy. Everybody is keeping everybody off guard.
That'll teach me for writing something down. Jeff Gordon moving.
52, 55, 56 on the leader.
I like this kind of race because you have to think, and when you're watching it, you have to kind of think, well, okay, this 24, he's on this strategy, the 2's on that one, how's it going to time out? Dave, how's the 24 going to run this race from here to the end?
We expect him, Andy, on or around lap 80 as the last pit was about 32 laps back from that, so we'll look for him about then. And for Jeff, it's just a matter of staying balanced and staying professional, according to crew chief Alan Gustafson. You know, he said with everything that's been up and down with this bunch this year, he called Jeff really amazing when I talked to him this morning. The fact that he's held it together, he just helped us work on the race car. We know we've had speed, but we've had a kind of luck here that you just don't want to talk about. And Jeff has been smooth and consistent the whole way for this team.
Now, Gordon, one of those drivers that needs to win at least one of these next 6 races, including today, if he's going to have a shot at competing for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. Dale Jr. just rolling out of the garage and back onto the racetrack.
18 laps. Even though it is a big track, that's still pretty good. Change the transmission in that amount of time.
Now I'll ask you this, Andy, to explain to you. He said they just put that in before qualifying, so that was since they practiced on Friday, they made a transmission change. Why?
Well, a lot of teams down there, because this is a hard track with transmissions, NASCAR has allowed them one change during the weekend. They can put a fresh transmission, so they don't limit their practice time based on the time that they put on the transmission. NASCAR lets them change it, and that's what they do.
Beginning to see more cars sprinkle onto pit road for stops. Joey Logano's in.
Yeah, Logano says he's free into 1 and free off of 1. Also loose into 2, loose off of 4. Just an air pressure adjustment. They're going to make a 4-tire change. They haven't been able to quite find the proper balance in this race car all weekend long. Still dealing with it here today.
Joey, the winner, back in June. And again, on that list of guys who need to win in that fight for the wild card spots in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
Well, we see Mark Martin giving it all he's got here. He was the fastest car on the track last lap, about a 10th quicker than Jimmie, but he's still got a little gap to close up. Denny Hamlin's in, Mike.
Yeah, and he's saying the car is just too free right now. Can't do anything with it. Said the adjustments have so far not made much of a difference on this race car. A 4-tire change right now for the 11 as they still try to improve that car for the 4-time winner here, Denny Hamlin. He's away now. Meanwhile, Paul Menard is on pit road. His car has been snug throughout the course of this race. They just took 4 tires and they're away.
Jimmie Johnson last pitted at lap 47. So 30 and change laps from there. It's going to be at least 6 to 8 more laps before we'll see the race leader on the pit lane.
It's hard to get it through the shift down. Like the last 8 laps, it just doesn't want to flow. It's worrying me. Copy that, man. Copy that. If you have to, don't shift and see what that does for you a few laps. You got plenty of room around you.
That's one option they have. They can leave it in high gear, not shift, and then hopefully, if there's a problem, it'll just kind of stay there. It won't get any worse.
If you're not dealing with traffic, that's a great option. But if you happen to catch some traffic in different places, then it's going to slow your lap times down quite a bit. I don't know that you want to get yourself in that situation right now, but that's better than the alternative.
Great to say, transmission brakes will slow your lap times down a lot.
And you heard Kenny Francis, the crew chief for Casey King, tell him you got plenty of room around you. And I know you're saying, yeah, he was right on the bumper of that car, but he means racing for position. These are lap cars. Casey is 3 seconds behind Matt Kenseth, and he's about 3 seconds ahead of Greg Biffle, the cars that he'd be racing for that third position. Carl Edwards up to 6th. Remember, Denny Hamlin just stopped on the pit lane. Kyle Busch was flagged for speeding on his pit stop a second ago, and he has not answered or served the penalty yet. So if he doesn't come down pit lane for the penalty this time, NASCAR is going to show him that old black flag with the white cross on it, meaning your car is no longer being scored. Just joining us, Kyle Busch. A left rear tire gone down in turn 1 after a brake rotor. He said exploded or disintegrated, I think was the word Kyle used. He scraped the wall with the right side of that car, and they spent 23 laps behind the walls getting repairs.
Give us a flag with a white stripe. You got to bring your turn, bud. I know.
I think he wanted to see what kind of car he had. He wanted to see if he could pass Jimmie Johnson.
Yeah, when they came back out from the garage, I noticed that after the pit stop, that he hung on quite well. He was in front of Mark Martin and Brad Keselowski and stayed there for quite a while in front of Matt Kenseth. So, man, it really makes it difficult when you know you have a good car like that.
Yeah, Mark Martin let him slide up in front of him, hoping he'd open the door with Jimmie, maybe get his lap back too.
When you're 23 laps down in a race, you got to do something to amuse yourself.
You have to find something, I'll assure you. Yes, it's especially when you're on a streak of bad luck, you have to do something.
Matt Kenseth running a solid second. And here is Regan Smith along with Kevin Harvick on the pit lane. Mike?
Regan Smith saying the car's a little bit loose in and off of turn 3. They'll make an air pressure adjustment and a 4-tire change. Kevin Harvick on pit road as well. They go to work on the left side. They complete their service there and a 4-tire stop.
Green flag pit stops at lap 74. About 3 to 5 laps from seeing the leader Jimmie Johnson in. Doc?
43 car on pit road. Been a long time since that car's been to victory lane. Major chassis adjustment. The car a little bit tight on entry. Left side tires, also air pressure adjustment as well for Eric Almirola. Puffing off with Sunoco fuel. Mike?
Clint Bowyer saying the car's been loose just throughout the course of the race. Still trying to race the racetrack pretty much. He just doesn't have as much control over that machine as he would like. The team looking for a 4-tire change here on the 15. Also an air pressure adjustment, trying to help Clint Bowyer out so that he has just a better handle on what he's driving right now. Jeff Burton on pit road as well, and they'll go to work on the 31 machine as he comes to a complete stop. Right side work there. Also an air pressure adjustment trying to help Jeff Burton turn a little bit. A 4-tire change here as we get closer to the halfway mark, Alan.
Greg Biffle pitting. And just noticing on Jimmie Johnson, by the way, a little bit of trash on the grill of that 48 car. But he is close to his pit window, so hopefully not a problem for Jimmie Johnson and his fans before they get to pit road. Here's Biff in, Doc.
Said the car's getting a little bit loose in turn 1, AB, and they've also told Greg they don't think the rain will be here till about lap 100 or so. Right side tires on, left side tires, a little air pressure change to get the car to turn better in the corner. Smith.
Martin Truex Jr. in that 56, he says we're real close on the setup. Still sliding the rear a little bit, but we're good. 4 tires and an air pressure adjustment.
Marcos Ambrose saying he's sliding the nose. He'll try to make an adjustment on that race car. 4-tire change, he's away.
Leader Jimmie Johnson hits his pit and hits the marks perfectly. It'll be a 4-tire change. There will be a chassis adjustment. He said the car's on top of the track. This is a wedge adjustment in the left rear. On top of the track and not good on the throttle. Little air pressure as well. A 4-tire change for Johnson, who dominated. They made no mistakes last week, and it's looking real similar today.
39 car, Ryan Newman coming in. They've made the call. Tony Gibson said wedge left rear. Ryan said the car has been free and remains way too free. Air in the left rear, air pressure adjustment. Right side tires, now left side tires going on. There goes the wedge in the left rear to try to tighten up the car. Meanwhile, as he gets ready to drop off the jack, here comes the 14, his teammate. That is Tony Stewart. And Tony, 4 tires, fuel for Tony. Car pretty neutral. A little bit tight again across the tunnel.
Casey Kane, a former winner here, and he's been one of the best cars here all day as well. They've got a problem on the right front. They had to lower the jack down, back it across. It looked like it was on the hose. Now they got to go back up on the jack. These are the problems you cannot have when track position is so critical. It's a 4-tire change, just an air pressure adjustment. Dave?
Jeff Gordon had raced his way into the 5th position. They've already made a chassis adjustment, a 4-tire change, air pressure as well. For Jeff, he said, right now when I get back to the throttle, I have to wait on it because the front end shoves. He hopes his team has fixed that. Doc?
Here is Sam Hornish in a 22 car. Sam said the car has been a bit of a challenge today. Still tight in the corner. Right front air pressure change last time. Going to go a little more this time. 4 tires. Going to get it completely full of Sunoco fuel. Mike, how about Matt Kenseth?
Matt Kenseth saying he's loose off, tight middle to make an air pressure adjustment to the right front and 4 tires. He's away.
So with the exception of Kurt Busch, it's going to bring us around, I'll call it a complete cycle of pit stops, but remember, we've got people all out of kilter and on different schedules with each other as Jimmie Johnson goes by the accelerating Matt Kenseth and back into the number 1 spot. Halfway coming up here at the Pennsylvania 400. Clouds growing on the horizon too.
Great sequence. 2 seconds back for Casey. You're clear all around. $52.60, a 30 on the leader. Just start fucking wrecking these guys. Clear. Clear. Back right there on your bumper. Clear, clear.
Just past halfway at Pocono with the 5-hour energy. Rapid recap. If you're looking for a strong team, how about Hendrick Motorsports?
Yeah, we talked about how strong those engines were going to be. It was going to be a battle of the big engine suppliers, Hendrick and then the Roush Yates Fords. But we also talked about the problem of durability. These guys are shifting sure enough, our point leader, Dale Jr., breaks the transmissions, had to go in the pits and change it.
17 laps led for Junior. He's fallen, at least to this point, to 4th in points, which puts Matt Kenseth back out front. Jimmie Johnson continues to be very good.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't too far in the race. We said, here he is. He took the lead. He's up front. His lap time's been fastest as we're speaking right now. He's still the fastest car on the racetrack. Johnson is flying.
And poor Kyle Busch, if it wasn't for bad luck, he wouldn't have no luck at all. Cuts down a left rear tire, gets it into the fence, goes behind the wall, comes back out. He's all the way back. He's 23 laps down. Just a terrible day again.
Comes back out and then gets caught speeding. So up front with more than a 3-second lead, it is the 48 car of Jimmie Johnson.
If you can, let's start to conserve a little bit of fuel, 10-4. That's what I've been doing. We're about 15 miles out on a hell of a rainstorm.
Ah, the dreaded words at Pocono, save me some fuel. Keep in mind, Jimmie Johnson is on an alternate strategy from Brad Keselowski, and like they said, rain is on the way.
And the great thing about it, I mean, you look at Matt Kenseth, he has got a stout race car, but he's 3.5 seconds behind Jimmie Johnson, who's starting to coast just a little bit to save a little bit of fuel. I think he's got plenty of room to do so, Ray.
He does, and sitting there in third is Brad Keselowski. He and his crew chief, Paul Wolf, come up with this strategy. It almost worked for him last week at Indianapolis, and they're doing the same thing today. They're out of sequence with that rain coming. Who knows what can happen here?
And of course, Greg Biffle, Roush Fenway Racing, you were looking at them earlier. Another powerhouse engine.
Yeah, I tell you, Greg Biffle's doing a fine job right now. His lap times are top 3 in speeds right now. His 3M4 Fusion just flat flying. Another guy not having any problem whatsoever. Looks like Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle are really strong today and looking right good, tell you the truth. I mean, I'm really impressed with the way those Fords are running today, Brad.
Yeah, they've done a good job.
Let's get up to speed with the other guys, starting with Mike Massaro. And this guy, Mark Marquez, finished second here an awful lot.
Yeah, 7 times in his career, but has never found victory lane. Was hoping that would change this afternoon. Has a pretty good race car, and his crew chief Rodney Childers was hoping that their pit strategy would work out, trying to play the weather. They've been pitting off sequence, but looking at the radar, they estimate they'll be about 10 minutes too early. They'll have to stop at a lap 90, looking for a 2-tire change. Vince?
Well, the 5 car of Casey Kane. Casey beating himself up a little bit on that last pit stop. He overshot his marks, ran over the hose, costing himself some serious track position. Kane on the radio apologized, but crew chief Kenny Francis pumped him up, said, rain is coming. We got to focus and start digging. Let's go to Dave.
Vince, remember where Jeff Gordon started the race? 27th position, so they had to pass cars. They used a 2-tire stop on the initial caution to gain some track position. The car is pretty quick. As we know, Jeff Gordon coming into today, 15th in the points, has either got to move way up or he's got to get some wins if he's going to make the chase. Vince?
Carl Edwards, another one of those guys desperately needing a win to make the chase. He's won here a couple of times and felt like they had the car bringing here today to get it done again, but so far they've just been fighting loose all day long. They've also dodged a couple of other bullets. We've got a crash. We've got a crash. It's Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch having a solid day until now, Alan.
Hard crash for Kurt, who had just come off the pit lane after a green flag stop.
We blew out a left front tire.
You heard the diagnosis.
Yeah, left front. They just changed 2 tires on that stop.
Yeah, I might want to go back and see if maybe he slid that left front getting on the pit road.
He was running 21st at the time.
Well, that's a hard crash.
Yeah.
Car destroyed. Yeah, it's hard to tell from that exactly what happened, but he was definitely out of shape when he got there.
Yeah, you could see that looked like something definitely happened as he got down in the car. Just turned sideways and then hard into the wall. Carried a lot of speed over that tunnel turn. And not much time to get things woed down.
Kenseth in the wall, Biffle in the wall, Kenseth spins into the pack. Denny Hamlin
wondering going down in that corner, how close was Kenseth going to try to get over onto Jimmie Johnson to try to take advantage, get him a little bit free. Johnson got extremely loose.
I made it. When they start spinning, man,
Did he
just
handle
break
with the
right
worst of
with it.
this and just an innocent
You did
bystander?
anything? Oh.
So the race for the lead into turn one. I believe the word I used just before the restart was crazy turn one.
Yeah, crazy. And we knew there would be racing like it was last lap. Yeah, it may have been because I was get back under green.
And who was leading when the caution came out here? Jeff Gordon's the one that's out front right now, but we'll have to see.
I don't know if he got much damage. I think 16 might have got into the fence.
And yes, the leader is Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, looks like Jimmie got loose under.
Wow, are his fortunes turning here?
Track with him.
Wow, how big would that be? Race isn't over yet. Here's what happened. Heading off into turn one.
Jimmie got a great restart. I thought he was going to be able to get well out in front of Kenseth.
Yeah, but Kenseth got over on his quarter pound for just a second. You see Jimmie try to get away, but Kenseth had a good restart. Jimmie just got loose before he got down in there. He was just trying to drive it off in the corner and make sure that he got ahead. But he just got loose.
That's so reminiscent of what we saw at Indianapolis last Sunday. Remember, off of turn two, the guy on the bottom getting loose under the guy up front, and the guy who's running behind them ducks low and takes the lead.
Jeff Gordon said, "Thank you very much."
It worked to Jimmie Johnson's benefit last Sunday at Indy, to his detriment here at Pocono today.
Well, Keselowski, he's out of control trying to avoid him. Kenseth comes straight across the racetrack.
Still there. Still outside. Inside. Keep coming, buddy. Inside.
All right, 48 just took me out. I mean, we went in there close, side by side, racing for the win, and just wrecked me, so sorry.
Don't apologize.
And Denny Hamlin, just nowhere to go.
It's kind of 2 weeks in a row for Matt Kenseth. Indy last week and now this.
Yeah, that's got to be discouraging because he's had great cars in both races. This had to be a really fun ride for Denny Hamlin.
Watch it. Roll the middle here, inside.
You don't even have time to react and get any brake to slow down there. Good to see Denny okay inside the car.
Around saying, is anybody going to hit me now?
Yeah, physically okay. That's bad.
So caution out, mayhem on the restart, and through it all, Jeff Gordon comes out with the lead.
There's a lot of
Kane comes out second. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars that we just really don't know where they're going to line up. You see, the two car lined up about fourth. The way I saw it, he's going to be about ninth. I think he's going to be behind the 99 of.
How long can he stay out there anyway?
That's the other thing.
He has to be getting somewhere close to being out of fuel. And these caution laps have helped him.
So NASCAR, when the caution flag comes out at the moment of caution, the scoring loops that they have and the timing and scoring computers freeze the field essentially, going back to the last scoring loop that the cars crossed over, and then they go back and look at the accident cars and use the video replays and so on to make sure they have everyone in the proper position at the moment of caution. And it will be double-checked to make sure that everybody's where they belong.
I'm sure it's busy in race control right now trying to sort all that out.
They are saying that it's going to be... Well, I'm going to wait for just a second. I was going to tell you where I thought they're putting Jimmie Johnson, but I'm going to wait till I confirm that. I believe it's going to be back around 15th or 16th or so.
Yeah, he got going. I mean, after they made contact, he's able to get back up to speed and maintain speed.
And I believe Greg Biffle is going to get put back a little bit from where he's currently riding in line also.
You gotta be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. I'm avoiding an accident, and they put me to the back, and the 48 gets his spot back? Seriously?
Back at Pocono Raceway with all kinds of stuff going on in the Pennsylvania 400 after a restart that came with rain closing in, pit strategy being played, a crash among the leaders in turn one, now somebody else out in front, one of the contenders with a flat tire, but staying out on the racetrack, because they think it's going to rain before the race restarts.
Yeah, his right rear is way flat.
I got flat right rear. If you can still run, stay out. If you can still go, stay out. We'll stay out till 1 to go unless it just shreds the tire right off of it.
Kenny Francis and Casey Kane.
The rain's that close. I mean, it's right at the edge of the property.
Running second. So Jeff Gordon leading. We saw just before we went to the commercial the discussion over where Greg Biffle should be placed in line. He is 15th, right behind Jimmie Johnson, who's 14th. There's the Biff.
On the high side as they go down in. Running in 4th right here. See the contact with the 48-17. Biffle into the wall.
And remember all the rules about you've got to maintain your speed and all that. And there they are. Falling in right behind Joey Logano. Doc?
Well, you heard the frustration from Greg Biffle, and with the weather moving in, Matt Pusha, you've been trying to talk to the NASCAR official. Make your case. What are you telling him?
The caution come out, as long as you maintain your speed, you're supposed to get your position back or go back to last scoring loop. When the caution came out, we were in front of the 78 there, right there with the 78 at worst case scenario. But they're saying we didn't maintain speed, so we'll see what we got here. Rain's on top of us here, so probably be only a lap or two if they get back green before they call this thing. So once the rain gets here, I think we're done. So see what we got.
All right, Matt Pusha very frustrated, but right now Greg Biffle will stay back and restart in 15th spot.
Yeah, the only problem with that argument is if that's the case, then Jimmie Johnson still has the lead because he didn't stop. He just kept going.
Brad Keselowski didn't pit under the prior caution, Dave, and are they watching the fuel flow?
Yeah, and the weather. They're thinking it's going to get wet before he goes dry. So they last pitted on lap 64. And you see him shutting the engine off, turning it back on, saving fuel. He can go another 7 or 8 under caution as of lap 95. So that's 102 or 103. But as you mentioned, man, that rain is on top of us. So that's kind of what they're counting on.
And remember, he's got to maintain pace with the car in front of him in the caution line when he's shutting it off to save fuel.
And Casey Kane's still going around on that flat tire. He probably ran over something as they went back through the accident scene. And very unfortunate for them. Could turn out to be okay. We'll see what happens. Andy, I've been up here and thought it was going to rain too, and it just never did for a little bit. Whenever
I've been here.
He likes to win up here, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, talked about Jeff Gordon earlier about how much they need to win, how much bad luck they've had this year, how well they've been running in recent weeks. I don't think this would be the way they expected to get a win, but
they'll take it.
It all counts. If, and I'll capital letter, underline, and put in bold, if the race ends here.
I think they said it's raining now. And that's not saying that if it does rain here, that we won't get restarted at some point in time. So you have to worry about that. But if Jeff Gordon should get this win, how about next week at Watkins Glen, as great a record as he has there, and trying to get that second victory that he knows is pretty much going to take to get him in the chase?
It would not be the first time, and there you see the raindrops as Alan Gustafson puts the notes undercover. Wouldn't be the first time that Jeff Gordon won a race here that was shortened by rain. How about June of 2007 here at this race, where they played some really neat strategy to find a way to be in front when it counted the most. And the race never got back going after the weather hit, and Gordon wound up taking home the win.
That was Steve Letarte that engineered that magic.
Well, circumstances playing to Jeff's favor this time. Good race car, we documented that. Moved up smartly all race long and was in the top 5 when things happen in front of him.
Yeah, here's the other thing. If it goes back green, he's still got probably the best car in the race right now.
Yeah, that was the thing. We really hadn't seen just how good he was. We knew he was good because he drove his way up inside the top 10, but we hadn't had a caution to really bunch it up so he could show how much he could run with the guys that had been leading.
And the word from NASCAR is that they will bring the cars down the pit lane this time, shut them down and cover them up. 5 times Jeff Gordon has won a race shortened by rain.
Hey,
I would be willing to bet that at least the top 4 right now would say, I'll take what I've got here in this, and let's not go back racing.
I'll go back one more. I bet Smoke will say it too.
All right, we will hear from but not see for the moment Jeff Gordon's crew chief, Alan Gustafson. Dave?
Whose birthday it is today? Are you willing to claim any of these gifts yet?
No, not yet, but certainly is a nice position to be in, right? So, no, I mean, it's not going to be over till it's over, but either way, we had a really good driving Hunger Chevrolet, and Jeff did a great job, and we knew that restart was going to be key. Obviously, everybody did, and Jeff got a great restart, and those guys had a little bit of an issue, and maybe, don't want to be premature, but maybe we might catch a break here.
How about the way he drove through that and missed it?
I mean, I think the run was key. Obviously, he was outside of Casey. I think Casey's car was a little better than ours at that time because we kind of came off pit road together. So him getting that restart and getting past Casey, and then the C's parted. So it just went our way. Like I said, I don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, but either way, it's a great position to be in, and really proud of the guys for battling through some tough situations to get in this position.
Remember, they currently hold the top spot, and we've talked all day about the luck they've had so far. Perhaps the wind has blown in their direction today, Alan.
We'll see. Cars being covered up. Still 61 laps to go. And the reason we didn't see Alan Gustafson there is because there is some lightning being reported in the area. And for safety, those cameras that cover pit road that have the big handheld antennas on them, we sent those guys for some cover. We are back live at Pocono Raceway after the Pennsylvania 400 has been declared official, just shy of the 250-mile mark, 245 to be specific, and Jeff Gordon is going to pick up his first win of this season and his now all-time leading 6th here at Pocono Raceway. He has got the tricky triangle pretty well figured out.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He's won it in a lot of different ways, but probably none bigger than today.
The number 2 wild card is standing by in Pennzoil Victory Lane.
He was already out of the car, so it was just enter stage left or stage right. We really didn't know. Have you ever seen anything like this to put yourself back closer to making the chase, Jeff?
I mean, you can't ever give up. Doesn't matter where you're at. You got to just try to go out there and win races. And for all the things that have gone wrong for us this year, I still can't believe what just happened. But I think this is the one that makes up for all the ones that have gotten away. And, I'm just so proud of this team. They just never gave up. And they gave me a great race car today. I mean, to start 27 and only have one caution and, work our way all the way up there like that was pretty awesome. And got a great restart and got into that inside lane ahead of Casey. And then I saw the 48 get sideways. And I don't know, somehow I just came out on the other end of it leading. So, God, I'm just so excited right now. I know that you don't want to win them quite like this, but we've earned it because of all the things that we've done this year. We've been in position to win races, and we are at the right place at the right time. Finally had something go our way, and I just can't thank Drive In Hunger and DuPont and Pepsi and Quaker State, Chevrolet, everybody. This is a great moment, and I've got both of my kids and my wife here, and that is...
And they're dry.
I don't know how they're dry. They're the only ones here that are dry, and this is like the greatest moment ever having them here.
Jeff, one more time, as you celebrate, tell us, and this, by the way, is a, let's get everybody in here. This is awesome. Jeff, what it means to you to have this 6th and now leading victory at Pocono with everybody here to see it.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's just an amazing day. I said to Alan Gustafson, miracles do happen because, you start to lose confidence and doubt in whether it's going to happen. Our cars have been good. Our team has been good. We just need some things to go our way. And boy, did they go our way today. I mean, I hate those guys, got caught up in a spin and wreck, whatever happened there. It was slick on those restarts. But I got to say hi to Rick Hendrick. I know he's not here. And we had a lot of pressure on us. All 4 Hendrick cars finally getting to victory lane in 1 year. That's awesome. That's been a long time coming, and I was feeling a lot of pressure because we hadn't done it yet. So this feels good, and this is that little boost that we need to go through these next 5 races. And don't count us out. Don't count us out. This is a great moment. We needed this, and it's awesome. Feels good, and we'll take it any way we can get it right now, and we're having a blast. And I'm gonna enjoy it so much with these guys. And happy birthday to Alan Gustafson. That is a birthday present right there.
Candles, cake, the whole thing. You got the icing too, Nicole.
By the way, Jeff Gordon turned 41 yesterday, so a win for him today and another top 5 for Brad Keselowski as we take a look at the unofficial results.
Oh, yeah. Take a look at Tony Stewart. He was way in the back, moved up to 5th place. And Carl Edwards, really concerned about Carl, 7th place.
Yeah, absolutely. A good day also. You know, Jimmie Johnson struggled a little bit at the end there, sliding on the restart, but you saw a strong race car for that 48.
Yeah, you look at some of the guys that really had trouble looking in the back at Kurt Busch, guys like that could have had a good finish, gotten a hard wreck.
Matt Kenseth, too, finishes 23rd.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. went out early with that transmission issue. He finished 32nd, but as we leave here today, he still leads the points. And there are your final 3. Racing continues in the Northeast as we head to the Finger Lakes NASCAR Nationwide Series at Watkins Glen on Saturday. Of course, we are back Sunday on ESPN. Coming up next, Sports Center. Once again, congratulations to Jeff Gordon. Career win number 86. We'll see you next week.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support.